First saved message.
George! How are you, buddy? Fifth Element. My wife would like you to know that she thinks it's a racist movie, which is maintaining the dominant paradigm, which was kind of stuff that people in 1997 were talking about. John Woo. Remind me to talk about John Woo. Is that his name? Hardboiled? Anyhow, I'm just going to say this now. The Fifth Element is not science fiction. Bye.
Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi.
New life. Morning. I'm
Really?
recording.
That's yeah.
You don't have to start
New
there.
life. No, yeah.
New
Good evening.
life. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm great, man. Good evening.
Evening. I'm George.
Hello, nurse. It's a new thing I'm doing now.
You've done that for a while.
No, that's good night, nurse.
Oh, good night, nurse. You've been. You're right.
Thanks for paying attention, though. You're a hell of a
Almost
listener.
choked on-
Are you choking
I
on?
almost choked on some really hard chocolate syrup there. Welcome.
TMI.
We are beleaguered Dallas driving sexy fuckers.
What? Beleaguered Dallas driving
Dallas.
sexy fuckers.
Yeah, Dallas. Is
Dallas
not-
being the is that like metonymy you're using there, where Dallas is?
No, I'm using the character's name from the fucking
I know,
movie
but
we're
it's-
going to talk
but
about.
you don't. I guess
And it's
you
not
do
his
know
first
what we're
name.
going to talk about, listener, because you clicked.
That's not true. It could be Dallas is in lots of movies. He's a character in Forrest Gump. He's in Aliens. We could be talking about Aliens. Dallas is Dallas.
We're never going to talk
one of the
about
Marines?
aliens, are we?
We
Hey, let's
should
put
talk
aliens,
about aliens.
with you know what? We'll do a double episode with Life and Covenant, and it's called Life Sucks, and so does Covenant. P.S. We didn't watch it.
We didn't watch it.
Enjoy the podcast.
I thought you said I thought you were going to say we were going to watch Life and then Aliens just to show the complete duality, like what you could do, or I guess Alien would be more appropriate in that, like what you could do with a science fiction movie and then what you shouldn't do.
So this is interesting because we've not seen Life,
We haven't, but
but we think it sucks. I mean, it sucked. Did it suck? We can't. I don't trust.
I can't say for
I don't
certain.
trust people who put their opinions out on the internet
I can't say for certain that it's. You don't trust people that put their opinions out on the internet.
like that.
That's
That was
good.
a meta statement,
That's
bro.
good. We are not to be trusted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, oh my God, this so good.
George, it's kind of gross. These good mics we have. It's like
so good. I know. I'm getting a little reverb.
I'm just
here.
gonna wait till you start rambling on, and then I'm gonna finish.
I have to
mine.
have terrible posture when I talk in this microphone. Otherwise, it doesn't pick
This
me
is
up.
interesting, George.
Is it? This is really enthralling stuff.
Luckily, this is episode 41.
This is episode 41.
So you guys have been with us for a while. If you're here now, listener, thanks for hanging on.
Isn't it? 41. No, it's 42. Never mind.
It's 42.
No, this is 41. 42 is the meaning of life in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I'll bring
The
that up
answer.
next episode. Again,
Cool.
We'll talk about.
Yeah,
We should talk about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy next episode.
we shouldn't. I'm not gonna read that.
We don't have to read it. Let's watch the movie. Oh, you have such a.
That's
It's not very good.
Yeah, no.
Or how about this? The 1980s
speaking of-
British TV show. Then.
We can't do this.
All right, we'll
Listener,
backtrack.
email us.
Yeah.
What's all the other stuff we got to say?
All right,
Hi.
we're at email us
happened?
up at bddsci-fi@gmail.com. Thanks
That's
for listening,
beleaguered
everybody.
Dallas driving sexy fuckers.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Good episode there.
I had a good.
That's
I had a
quality.
good night. I finished watching a movie.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It took me 1, 2, 3,
20
4
years?
took me about 20 years to get through the fucking thing. No, 1, 2. I started it yesterday and then I stopped it at night. I got a little. I got some seltzer. Started it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5 tries. It took me 5. So you might say that I finished it on the 5th
Ha ha!
attempt.
Wow.
That's my segue, Kevin.
It is?
It's not bad, huh?
To what? Beethoven's Fifth?
Yeah. That's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be
Very sci-fi
If you
piece
could
of
all
music.
just be quiet. Kevin is gonna hum Beethoven's Fifth.
That's
not the Fifth.
That's not?
No.
What's that? Was that even
Is that
Beethoven?
even Beethoven? I don't know. I can't tell you for certain.
Hold on.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, that's Drake. All right.
Yep.
The Fifth Element. That's what we're
Which
talking
is?
about. The Fifth Element is a 1997 Luc Besson movie.
Lupathon.
Lupathon. A Lupathon.
That's raising funds for lupus sufferers.
Luc Besson movie. Luc Besson also did Leon or The Professional or Leon the Professional. All of his movies have multiple titles. There's Nikita or La Femme Nikita.
He's that guy?
Yeah.
So he's like a 1990s
He's a 1990s.
indie section of your local VHS purveyor.
I could not remember the movie that they remade in America out of La Femme Nikita. I think it might be called Point of No Return, and it had Bridget Fonda in it. And Samuel L. Jackson? No.
I got nothing.
No. That's Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis. All right, we're getting all over the place
It's
here.
surprise! She has a
Hey.
penis.
No. What?
That's that.
No, that's
That's
not even-
Cloverfield. Sorry.
No. We saw a different Cloverfield.
That's Arrival. Arrival.
Arrival of the penis.
I'm Forrest Whitaker.
Surprise!
I got
she
a
has
penis. Don't go in there.
Forrest Whitaker. I shall
He doesn't
run.
have the penis.
I
His
shall
girlfriend
run
has
no
a
more.
penis.
I shall run no more. Save the rebellion. Anyway, his girlfriend has a penis. What are we talking about? Well, it certainly sounds French, whatever we're talking about. So it
We
must
are.
have to do with Luc Besson.
I know.
And The Fifth Element. And
20th anniversary.
20 years.
George,
This
let
movie
me get
came
this
out
straight.
When I was 17 years old.
Why
In
don't you
19
George, tell us a little bit about this. Not that it was planned, but can you tell us a little bit about this?
Well, when I was 17 years old, I had a very good friend named Walker, and we had a habit of skipping school and going to the movies. And we generally sought out like the big blockbusters at the time, which a lot of them fell into like the science fiction or action adventure category. So we skipped school and we went and saw Lost in Space. We skipped school and we went and saw The Fifth Element. So I was 17 when I saw this movie in the theater. And I remember walking out of the movie at 17 and going, you know, there's really good science fiction. And this was not that. This was not really good science fiction. That does not mean it's not a good movie. That does not mean it doesn't have merit.
Why isn't it good science fiction?
It had a really, really simple story. Didn't make me think that much. And it seems to have relied a lot. Now, at 17 even, I knew...
You're onto something. Let's make a note that a quality of science fiction is to make one thing. Because I'm trying to come up with a new list as we go forth on this journey. So, inherent in your statement was that it wasn't good because it didn't make you think. And let's keep building.
All right, I don't want to say not good movie, though.
Not good sci-fi.
Not good sci-fi.
So therefore, this is we won't get
getting
into
into
names
an
of
old-
arguments.
we're
If
getting
it's
into an
raining and one has an umbrella, it's always raining. What kind of a flawed argument is that called?
Is that a straw man? Or is that a... No, that's a different...
It's a damp straw, man.
I'm disgusting.
Dude.
If you could see the way I just tilted the
Yeah.
bowl of melted ice
Yeah.
cream into my mouth, you would disagree with everything that I am about to say. So at 17 years old, I knew what camp was, essentially. I knew that there were things, like, I knew that I didn't like...
Did you know that in 1969, Susan Sontag wrote a Notes on camp essay?
Of course.
Totally.
Everyone.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
everyone who skipped school knew that.
I was skipping my class on that essay.
Yeah.
So
Show
I
her.
actually didn't get to show
Show her.
Susan,
You gotta live camp.
Susan Sontag.
Live camp,
You gotta live
man.
it. You gotta skip
There's-
school and go to the theater
Yeah.
to experience camp.
Yeah, and watch Divine eat a poodle turd.
And we're not getting into John Waters territory here, man. Like this is
Just did.
you did, but there's a whole spectrum of camp, and I feel like at one end of it there's like the 1960s Batman show, which is like there's campy and then there's camp, and it's like John Waters is like camp. These are these things that like certain people will watch and go like, oh, you didn't like that? I thought that was hysterical. And then there's kind of campy, which is just very tongue-in-cheek, very, like, intentionally playful, but not really, there's no shock value.
Listen, I'm glazing over here.
He's
We're
glazing over.
We're not prepared to talk about this.
No. So
Yeah, people take this to they talk this like, camp goes into like,
I think
highbrow art, lowbrow, or middlebrow.
I just
It's all
settled the whole
bullshit.
thing. I just settled the whole thing right there. So you guys are fine. So yeah, 1997, I remember walking out of this movie and thinking it was okay, but not great. And I was kind of surprised by the staying power that it had over the 20 years that it's been out now. Like it's pretty much like it's got a cult status.
Says who? Your Facebook friends? See, that's what I hear. Like,
What?
You're like, hey man, let's do a 20th anniversary Fifth Element thing, and staying power is not what I would think this movie has. I mean, this movie
how many
it's like
movies
great.
came
Wow,
out?
guess what? I can type it into my computer and access it.
How many movies came out in
know-
1997 that you have never ever heard from again? You say The Fifth Element. Most people, especially people in
And I'm saying to you, I can't
know,
say it's 1997. So name another 1997 movie.
Batman and Robin.
You
No,
bastard.
I don't know off the top of my head. I didn't know that
See,
this
that's-
was 1997.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
tell you the
Who's
truth.
counting?
But that's
And-
okay. But what I'm saying is the fact that 20 years later we're even talking about The Fifth Element.
Oh,
that
okay.
means that's staying power.
Well,
20
no,
years later,
unless
it
of
is not.
course, it's just like, hey man, let's release a Blu-ray of that one. We'll wait for year 20, and then
Yeah, but I would say
George's Facebook is going to tell him to make an episode about
I
it.
would say the staying power is like indicative of like there's demand for a remastered Blu-ray of it. Like that there is people who are like, yeah, really bring that out. Not like, hey, does anybody remember this movie? No, fuck you. Like this movie has got scenes in it, characterizations, performances that people like saw when they were very young and they carried them.
I
with
loved
them,
Gary
like,
Oldman, and he didn't.
He is fantastic in like everything. I mean,
But I forgot like the voice. I forgot what type of character that reminds me of, because he's playing with like almost like, I kept thinking of like a retarded mice and men thing. Like it was like
I can
like
see that.
Southern weirdo, like something that I knew from a I don't want to use archetypal, like something, like the characters of Streetcar Named Desire, and he had this voice, there's something
Yeah.
like,
what was crazy is I had seen him go from The Professional, where he plays the DEA agent in that, the bad guy, who's a lunatic drug addict, fantastic, to then playing Dr. Smith in Lost in Space, to then this. So by the time I was 17, I was already like, oh, so this guy can play anything, like essentially. That Bruce Willis, he's playing the same guy he always plays, like kind of overly sarcastic, heavily, machismo.
yeah.
The cool guy.
Well, and so that is what vehicle's the wrong word. This was not a vehicle for Bruce Willis. I think Luc Besson had his agenda. He'd written this when he was 16. He'd been meaning to make it, blah, blah, blah. But it was kind of like, I I felt the time. So watching it last night, I was like, yes, of course, man. We were all digging that Bruce Willis was in this
When you say
thing.
that, do you mean you felt the length of the movie, or you mean you feel
No, I
1997?
felt 1997
Me too.
when it was like,
Totally.
it makes sense
Yes.
that we're going to put all these people in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think the same technique or strategy is used, but for some reason it feels like locked in time, like even Bruce Willis's last of a classic batch.
Yeah, that
of
read to me
people,
like that
right?
read to me almost
especially
like
seeing him
jarring,
young. I was like,
so.
all right, that's right. Yeah. You're not. I mean, I saw that dude in person for years in my trade on a yearly party at a guy's house, and so he's like an older, more dignified. And I always thought one of the great ways to be fired would to just there was an infinity pool in his backyard, man, and I always wanted to just punch him in the face and see if he could still kick my ass, and it'd just be a great way to like in the movie, just like in your career, you know, take your tie off, fuck you, bam, and just
Hey, Bruno.
I had the same thought. Like I got to see Ringo Starr yearly, and I was like, you could punch, and he'd always be sitting talking to Jeff Lynne for Me Hello, and I was like, you could be the Ringo puncher, you could punch this shit, just sucker punch Ringo Starr.
You'd be
I didn't run away, dude.
20 years from now, they'd be making a movie about you.
Yeah,
You're
man.
like the Ringo.
What book was he reading? Absolution Gap by Alistair Reynolds.
Reynolds.
It was open
really
to page
weird,
4,000.
It was really weird. No, I felt that like incredibly as I was rewatching it. It was really clear that everything from like the pacing to the way the action is set up, to the simplistic story, it was very much locked in a late 90s like just style and era of filmmaking.
Which is one of my first thoughts about this movie. I felt like there was something going on, and I didn't go Google up the dates, so we'll work on a hunch here. Starting with RoboCop, moving into a Total Recall.
Those are both 80s.
I know,
Okay.
but like that's what I don't think time has to do with it. There was like this push, this way that certain movies kind of came through. It felt. I'd love to know when John Woo was doing his stuff. I felt there was like an action, like Hard Boiled. I think it was that same era when I'm watching all these flicks and
early 90s,
and some of the jumping around and moving.
Oh yeah,
that was like a thing where it all
when she's fighting the aliens and it's like she does 3 backflips and then puts her hand out and is like, "Come at me." I'm like, oh, that must have seemed revolutionary at the time, kind of, but like it's still read as kind of lame. The fight scenes read as kind of lame.
But let's another movie. I'm trying to think of these places because you said it lined up the action, the pacing. I don't know if the time span's right, but Running Man. There's a place where let's call it big gun, clunky set, sci-fi. Shining a light on some part of us at the time, consumerism, criminality, the media and its relation to us,
The evils of mankind.
I mean, I don't know. It was hard to watch those damn taxi cabs and cop cars.
Yeah.
I was like, this is Roger the Rabbit.
Yeah, it read to me as like a less crafted Terry Gilliam.
Well, no, and I had a Brazil feel too.
I had a Brazil feel too,
Yeah.
but like more sloppy. You know, like not as like Brazil. It wasn't by any means like a beautiful painting, but like I felt like
More like you could see the sets.
you could see the sets. It
was a
wasn't
set.
just like garbage. I mean,
well,
there's literally
like Terry
garbage
Gilliam's,
in
you
the
know
back
it's a
of-
set, but it didn't feel like it. This you
Yeah.
knew, you almost felt the hand of the creator.
Yes. Yeah.
While we're there, no, it's gone.
It's gone. All right.
gone.
Well, that was it. That's
was
Fifth
it. Yeah,
Element,
good night.
ladies and gentlemen. That's the second time
Oh
we
no!
pretended to end.
What was it? It was like
End the
something
show.
about like it's not even on that list of stuff.
That doesn't matter.
It was a cooler thought. It'll come back.
It doesn't matter. So
It doesn't matter. Remember that episode? Those were hard times.
That's every episode, man.
Is
It
it?
doesn't matter.
Here in the heart?
Right here.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of talent went into making this movie. Mobius did the production design. Jean-Paul Gaultier did the costume design.
Which, by the way, is my cologne.
Is it?
Hum by Jean-Paul
By
Gaultier.
Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Jean-Paul.
That's fantastic. You know
And
that little
the-
bit of Kevin now.
Yeah. And
If you ever want to smell him, you can just
go to a
Macy's.
Macy's, spray that shit in your face, and it'll be like I'm there reading sci-fi to you.
I just usually rub the nozzle of the gasoline can right across my neck.
Yeah.
It cuts out anything.
That's a different designer.
Hey,
A little
Exxon.
more. Yeah, William Gibson would know about him. Exxon.
Exxon.
That's pretty 90s too.
It's pretty 90s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
90s, man.
This movie had some pretty cool elements in it, but there was the ultimate.
Did it, George?
There was the ultimate. How many?
No.
Anyway, there's the ultimate evil that is coming to Earth, and that's where we start. We start with. An
By the way,
alien
we're spoiling this for
coming
you.
down.
If you're 19,
If you're-
right now, you should probably watch this.
If you haven't seen The Fifth Element,
I should tell you, though, this was a brand new movie to me, though, man. I was telling George, there was probably bong hits and there was probably wine, and therefore, hey, if you blacked it out, it's new to you. Hey!
So it was heavy.
Yeah.
It was a heavy experience. Literally, his head felt
I
heavy.
love telling people I had seen a movie, or at least sat in the same space as
I've
one was
seen
playing.
that.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, there was a part of me that did not want to rewatch it because I had, I think, a more favorable recollection of it than me rewatching it, than the experience I had. I had kind of filtered out. I remembered things like Mila Jovovich and having a crush on her, Lilu.
She's ugly.
Definitive.
She's ugly.
Definitive from
That's
Kevin.
just-
She's
dude,
ugly.
like, that
I
just-
remember the
it's not
design.
right.
I remember the design of the aliens and thinking that those were really, really fucking cool.
That's
And
racist.
now they come across as kind of clunky and bad.
They're totally
animatronic suits and
Doctor Who style suits. Like, you can see them in
Yeah.
the background with, like, baggy asses and shit.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like,
like-
clearly those are, like, tights or padded pants or something.
I remember the special effects being like revolutionary, and they're pretty sloppy for like a time when like Independence Day came out. These effects, like when the guy is trying to maintain his human
Yeah.
face, and it looked really cartoony.
Which
so-
reminded me of Men in Black.
yeah, which came out around the
So-
same time. Again, big gun, big thing.
So what was going on there? Like that...
Oh, it was comic booky. It was, let's take these heavier elements and play them a bit for
So I
laughs.
felt like this could have been a Guardians of the Galaxy
that's a fair point.
of
Yeah.
10 years before or whatever. I was just like, yeah, I mean, it didn't make me think.
No,
So we're at a point now.
but here's the thing.
Go.
People tack on all sorts of things to this movie that I don't think it really earns, if earn is a proper word, like advancement of feminist ideals, and
See,
like it being this like watershed moment in science fiction when they started to do things like, oh wow, Lilu's character has a 400-word vocabulary that Luc Besson wrote for, and so there's sort of this like over intellectualization of this movie.
we've Jodie Fostered on this.
Have we Jodie Fostered?
Yeah.
Oh no.
When she has her language?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now.
Chicka-pay-pay. Swaying in the wind again, man. We keep coming
What
back.
swinging in the wind?
Hey,
Hey,
Liam Neeson's
a
penis.
little, yeah. Liam Neeson's now, chippa pay pay.
By the way, Luc Besson directed the movie Taken
Yeah.
by Liam Neeson's
Taking
penis.
what?
Taken.
All of it.
No one can. Anyway, so much ice cream. But yeah, this movie, it's really, man, I'm gonna say it's pedestrian. There's a big evil in the sky. We need to get these 4 stones and this 5th thing, and bring them to Earth. Here's the key to do it. Here's a line of monks that have been alive for 1,000 years, and
I
they're all
like
gonna do
that.
it.
So it touched into deeper sci-fi vibes for me. As soon as it went to Earth, I was like, 1914, okay. I really love those first creatures that came out.
I dig those guys.
They were, as clunky as they were, somehow believable. They were really deeply sci-fi, like closer to like pressure suits you'd have to see. And I know that those things, I think, were the creature. They weren't things in suits, I don't think.
Yeah, I think those were.
But that was cool stuff.
And Luke Perry fucking blows it.
Yeah.
For him, shaking a pistol. He's a monster.
So what else we got here? We got.
See, that's what Bruce, I'm talking. You could fucking pinhole this movie based on the fact that Luke Perry is in the first 5 minutes of it.
Why?
I feel like because it is just that. It is kind of like a who's gonna show up. What familiar faces are we going to be able to toss in? Oh, look, there's the president is the guy from No Holds Barred. Oh, hey, the colonel is the dude from
when was Friday made?
Friday before this. So Chris Tucker
in that combo.
He wasn't like a name yet, but you kind of knew who Chris Tucker was, and that'll bring us to I just don't like Chris Tucker. I don't. His voice annoys the hell out of me. I've never thought he was funny, and he is just like so turned up in this movie. His part was apparently originally supposed to go to Prince.
Okay. And
Prince turned it down because he thought the wardrobe was too effeminate, which I think is kind of hysterical. But I remember leaving the theater and that being like a big detractor was that when the movie would get more serious based on Lilu's reactions. Like when she was being whimsical, the movie was whimsical. When she was scared, things got a little darker. But he never changed tone, like he was just Chris Tucker, Ruby Road, whatever the hell his character's name is, throughout the entire thing, and it just annoyed the shit out of me, and it really kind of took me out. I mean, to me, it's akin to like casting an 8-year-old kid who just sucks,
Well, okay, so
it pulled me out of it just completely.
I didn't mind watching that. I liked the movie was self-aware at times, which was really cool. Luc Besson did stuff like there was a scene where Bruce Willis, I think, says the number 10, and then boom, a clock shows 10. Yeah. The fact that we listened to his best show ever, which was The Attack, whatever Chris Tucker's character name was. Yeah. When I saw Bruce Willis eating lunch with the man cooking the Asian food, and a mail tube comes down, my mind went, this world has an ability to get you mail wherever you are. And he knows about the mail, like as if you're going to get that mail, it's never good news. And they make a bet, and then that guy flies off and he's been at his window. Was totally...
That was really cool.
Cool.
Really cool.
And I liked the size of the cigarettes.
That he's quitting, so the filter.
Yeah, well, no, but everyone else's cigarettes are like that, though. So maybe those people are also quitting, but someone else lights up a cigarette and it's got the long filter.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, even like there's some stuff like I love the speed freak that comes to his door.
Oh yeah,
that's a great.
And he's got the picture of the door view on his head.
Picture of the hallway to fool you into opening the door, and then picks his head up, and he's just on one and wants money. It's so good. Yeah. That like things like that are great. And it's kind of what puts this movie into the like, all right, good movie.
But why is it? How come it gets culted through, or how does anything get culted through? Like
there,
Repo Man. Why does that work? What's like? Because I agree, Repo Man's yes, and if I was the gatekeeper of cult, I'd be like, don't let Fifth Element through.
Yeah, and there's a whole
that's because of
swath
taste
of things. That's personal taste, and there's a whole swath. I wouldn't put John Waters anywhere near, like, I wouldn't put Pink Flamingo anywhere near. There's a lot of John Waters that I really like, but this movie, like the opera scene where you've got the woman who's doing a dance. Like I remember that being epic, and it's not. Like
nothing is epic.
Nothing is epic in this movie, and so I mean, it's built on moments like that, and I don't know if it's because they were the first time.
So
they
that's
did
why
these
it
things.
felt like a story, not really a sci-fi thing. And that's why is this really a love story?
And that's the thing. Is this really a love story with just a few, like, they happen to be on a cruise ship in space?
And I don't think that's the case. There's a lot of qualities of sci-fi that obviously get checked out. This reminded me of some of the deeper storylines of, well, as soon as you add monks for Absolution Gap's doing monks right now. A Canticle for Leibowitz, Walter Miller. That's an amazing book, reader, by the way. Listener. Sorry, I know you guys don't read.
You could be both.
Who reads? These kind of things reach back. They obviously are sci-fi, but I was asking myself again, saying, what is up with me in sci-fi right now? I know what sci-fi is, and it's what I've been reading, people.
So it's like
it makes me think, I guess, but what it makes me want to do is be with it.
All right.
Always.
See, there we
go.
go.
I would have rather read than watched that movie, but I love doing this.
Yeah. So, but is it a I know it when I see it type of thing for you? Like I know it when I see it, and I gotta tell you, man, this didn't do it for me. I mean, like it was also kind of all
fun.
over the
I think
place.
fun.
Fun.
See,
It was
fun for me kind of puts you out of sci-fi for some
Right.
reason. Like,
and when I see
it's
even
gotta be
trailers
heavier.
for like Valerian, I go, that looks fun. And there's nothing wrong with fun.
Can we remember? Like, I'm sure the listener remembers. We've probably liked something and we thought it was fun and it was sci-fi.
Sure, Guardians of the Galaxy is a lot of fun.
That's just a comic movie, though. It's not sci-fi.
Well, this is a different thing. But there's a lot of movies that are fun.
This is a comic
Time
movie, I
Bandits is fun.
Time Bandits is
man.
fun.
Time Bandits is a lot
So I
of
wonder
fun.
what I would think of Time Bandits these days.
That's fine. Time Bandits is great, man.
I'm just getting old.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe you are getting old, whereas I'm only 17 years old and I just walked out of the theater. This movie's also kind of just like all over the place as far as like what it's. One thing that I just realized is that the good guy and the bad guy never interact. Like Gary Oldman and Bruce Willis are never in the room together, and I thought that was actually kind of cool.
I don't really. I mean, those aren't the good guy and the bad. The good guy and the bad guy
They're
are
the good guy
the
and the
Fifth
bad guy.
Element girl and Mr. Shadow.
Not really. I mean, the
Yeah,
ones
really.
driving the story
Yeah, really.
are like the
I
protagonist.
mean,
is
I
Corbin
understand what
Dallas,
you're saying, but I can't let you have
and
that.
the antagonist is
I understand what you're saying, George, but I can't let you
Mr.
have
Zorg.
Yeah.
You know, and the scene between him and Derek Jacobi where he's choking on a cherry is fantastic.
that. Yes.
That's a fantastic scene when he talks about how chaos creates opportunity and it drives people's lives. And he's just here to just add a little bit more chaos. I wish we got a little bit more of Mr. Shadow. I wish there was a little bit more of a face to that.
Well, and so that's
Evil.
where it kind of fails on the sci-fi thing because
it's an absolute evil. And
like
that's
it
And-
should have been. And so that's what all this work for this woman. They figure it out. Boom! She fires a light through it. It fucking dies, and then you get to fall in love with
Right.
a aeons old evil destroying device.
And I think
That is what, to me, makes it more of a story. It's like you took these things and you took these elements that really push a world around, and you had a guy just fall in love with it. And of course, once again, just put it back into. We all love that Bruce Willis was in this. I mean, how could you not have Bruce Willis get the kiss? Right, and so
it would have been bolder for him not to. It
Well,
would have
that's
been like,
I
that
think
would have been
so,
sci-fi.
Call it what.
Well-
I think it's sci-fi to have this alien being return.
Yeah.
I think it's sci-fi to have this alien being vaporize, to
totally.
incarnate into what it really looks like, and it is unbelievable that the Fifth Element would have any mortal yearnings whatsoever.
You've got a supreme being here. She's addressed as that. She's, the science is there. Her DNA has got, hundreds of thousands of more.
That actor,
perfection.
the guy, there was something. It reminded me of. Hold your thought, but
sure.
One of the elements that I really loved about this movie was people weren't good looking. It was ugly, almost
ugly.
deliberately deformed actors and stuff like this, and that made that space of the movie really cool. From the Gary Oldman's very odd haircut to the people who just looked pasty or loserish or like they had a limp.
Yeah, there's a lot of eye bags going on.
Yeah,
and
different
characters
burned face, and just
But so this supreme being, huge icon of not early feminism, but 90s feminism and whatnot, and she can't conquer evil until a guy tells her he loves her. And I mean, even at the age when I saw this movie and she mentions that she's cruising through the alphabet, I knew at that moment, well, she's going to get to W and she's going to see war. And that's going to be like when she's like, oh, what am I doing saving these beasts?
I forgot that, and I thought that was something that I just ignored. I went and brushed my teeth. I'm like, great, this woman has to stumble upon why save us.
Yeah. I just wait too late.
And I would
in the
think
game
that this
to
woman,
put
I think built
in.
into the code of a weapon like this is no free will almost.
Yeah, let
me think about it. And then it's just like great. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yay.
So fun flick. Now, I mean, we wrote down racist here.
Racist?
Yeah. And this is
my wife
your
thinks that this is a racist flick.
What about it?
The aliens.
Because her orange hair?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Because racers dye their hair orange. Yeah. We don't need to go there. There was a school of studies called Critical Studies which examined all these things in and out. And you were close to it when you talked about the feminists. And there's different camps that come through this stuff.
Okay.
And this was going on back then. And it was another branch of that was called Cultural Studies. And they went and made a real good mess of a lot of good, clean fun.
Oh, okay.
The kind of people who were like, who's controlling who here? And those type of people would say that this is a giant cock film. Because everyone else is ugly and wimpy. Uh-huh. Even the president has physical disabilities.
Lazy eye.
And Bruce Willis rises above him with a kiss. This all works. And all this is a throbbing cock of a film.
So isn't that sexist then?
Yes.
And not racist?
Yeah.
Because maybe it is. And
the racist thing was just about the exaggerated features of the aliens and what one of them chose to manifest as.
Oh, sweet Lord. You can...
And it's an inflation, literally.
Yeah.
But I didn't... Yeah.
You can find anything, I think, if you look close enough, right? I mean...
Yeah. Like sexism and shitty sci-fi.
Yeah. Which, I mean, but there's no doubt that those things do exist, like those things are out there. Sexism in film, racism in film.
It's just what women think.
It's just what women think. Okay, well, there go. Yeah. There go any of the females.
Wow.
No, hold on. I'll get them back. We have ice cream. That was sexist, right?
I mean, you could have said something about spas.
We have spas too. Call.
Yeah, and it's really dirty. You should be cleaning that.
Oh, Jesus, Kevin.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing, man. 20 years have gone by since this movie came out, and it seems to be, I was reading an article actually on Tor.com about what a polarizing film this is. That it's like you either love it or you don't love it. That it's kind of right down the middle. I don't necessarily agree with that because I found
who are these people? That's what I'm saying.
Right,
why does it come like it's like, hey, need to ask you a couple things before you join our gang.
Pick up the phone. Hey! Do you love Fifth Element or do you hate it? Gotta pick one, man.
Fifth what? Hold on.
Yeah.
What movie?
Bongs
Yeah.
and wine. Bongs and wine.
Wine
You
in
know,
the bong.
What?
For flavor, bro.
No, that's
for flavor, bro.
disgusting, man.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow. Did that just
it was lightweight.
yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, oh.
You like that noise?
Yeah,
It's really reading. So, what the fuck else are we gonna talk about?
I don't know. I want to do some stuff, though. Listener, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And email us, man.
Yeah.
I'm
let us
pretty
know.
sure. I don't even know.
BDD Sci-Fi.
They could be just being made up by people who work for us.
At
I don't know.
gmail.com. Are you guys part of this?
Is there anybody out there?
You guys part of this whole sect of humanity that is maintaining that The Fifth Element is a cult film? Is it worthy of that status? Does anything need
Can
to
we
be
ask
worthy
Reddit?
of that status? Reddit.
Wait, but remember, ask them on Saturday because we don't want to be promoting.
Oh,
our
you don't
stuff.
want to be promoting. Yeah. Only on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure those rules are there for a good reason.
Yeah, because we don't want the internet to become a clusterfuck.
Yeah, the plumbing forum is just nuts until we made them only advertise on Saturday.
Hey, dickhead.
And no one-
Stop
yeah.
self-promoting your plumbing
Hey,
company.
what happens? There's a bunch of hair stuck on me. You know I can fix that. Hey, asshole, we're not trying to get
Yeah.
get work here for you.
Littlest bit of power, and just humanity runs away with
Corrupts
it.
absolutely,
Which,
bro.
you know, maybe Mr. Shadow should have just destroyed us all. Is that what was at stake, too? Was he going to come here? Because they were super vague. They said, like, at one point, Derek Jacobi goes, like, light gets replaced by darkness, or something like that.
Yeah.
So he gets there instead of the Fifth Element, and
He just kills the planet.
he just kills the planet. Did he kill the planet or he kills everything? And if he's going to kill the planet, why the fuck is Gary Oldman helping him?
Because Gary, well, that was, he was going to get paid out somehow.
In
So
money?
hopefully these guys get to leap.
Like, this guy-
Hopefully these guys get to leap to other systems, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you would think you'd want to get paid out.
I just, when how big was the, there's one scene that I love this. I thought this was actually a really, really cool decision, especially considering the vastness of space. They're at the border of Earth space, and there's just like a bunch of little lights.
Red lights?
Red lights
Yeah,
going
that
around
was cool.
the entire border. But I mean, it's like, it's fucking space. So it goes endlessly in every direction, So why is it just that one little...
Because you come up and stop. It's the way. It was great.
It's so stupid.
That was a good idea. That was funny.
It's funny. That's what I mean. It's funny, but it's not,
I liked how the whole thing, the costumes of it, that was cool to me.
Like what the humans were
like
wearing? or what,
flamboyant as it was and all that. That was work well done.
Yeah.
It made me think of like what Joe Dorowski's Dune would have been like. I mean, it was very close to,
No, there was design.
in a way, of like that whole
Yeah.
like just foreign French whatever. Like let's get a whole band to play the Harkonnen sounds and get a whole other band to play the House, Atreides,
Atreides,
like
yeah,
kind of that grand thing. There was sort of, the music was, I think, weighted down in its time. The way like the diva hopped into like a drum beat of it. I was just like, oh, this sucks.
Silly,
so
and they were
bad.
just cutting it with the kind of lame Lilu fight with the where you see three aliens just like standing,
yeah.
waiting. I'm waiting my
And
turn.
they've been so
here.
fierce.
And that was
all up until
before,
then.
you could tell it was before, like, that became a common joke. Like, hey, guys, we're just going to wait around her and then attack her one at a time. And, that whole scene was kind of lame. That was actually apparently Luc Besson's wife at the time, the blue alien, who he then left during this movie to go hang out with Mila Jovovich.
So he had a crush on her too.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got good taste.
She's a pretty good action star now. You ever see any of the Resident Evil movies?
No,
No, I saw the first two. They weren't bad.
no. Those video game movies.
I like her. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the Minecraft movie. It's supposedly riveting.
I saw the Angry Birds movie.
I saw that
Today.
too.
I enjoyed it.
Today?
Yeah, today.
With who? You're watching with a kid?
Yeah.
Good
I
answer.
have two kids.
Good answer. I thought you didn't do screens.
Well, it was 140 5 degrees today.
It was not.
It was hot.
It was 84.
No, it was hot.
You guys are crazy.
We stayed inside all
I
morning.
expect you to work harder, man. I don't.
Wow. You
Yeah.
know, Kevin.
Busy dad.
Busy
that
dad.
You are.
Most Tuesdays, I'm everywhere but inside. So today, I said, Jack, you want to watch something?
Well,
He
it's
said,
good that
yeah.
you know yourself, man.
He said, do
Let's
you want to
watch
watch
Angry Birds.
Do you want to watch Angry Birds? Like, and I was like, yeah, let's watch Angry Birds.
Does he play Angry Birds on the phone?
No,
No.
he doesn't do.
This
Again, we don't do.
This is riveting.
We
Listener,
don't do
are you here?
screens. We don't do games.
Oh, yeah, I
Like,
heard.
We don't do. You know.
Unless they're an hour and a half.
Unless
What?
and he watched 2 episodes of Magic School Bus. too.
Lucky.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I
educational.
went crazy today.
Yeah. But didn't let him watch any of the Fifth
No. I mean, you know, like the end when they're fucking in the tube.
And
That's such a shitty way to end the movie.
and the way it froze,
The way
it was like
freezes,
such like
it was
of
such
the
a
time.
John Hughes like 16 candles thing. Like let's freeze on their faces smiling and then overexpose it, you know, and then the guy turning around like, oh, they're just, you know, doing something where they are. Oh, boy.
That's the more I think about that, the more it just makes it shitty.
And the way she's begging him at the end, like
The sum
say
is
it,
not
hey,
equal to parts.
Say I love you. Say it so I can see the world. It was not a good. Maybe it was a bad movie, man. Maybe it's not even just like it wasn't good sci-fi. Maybe it was just a bad movie, and that's fucking okay. You know, like it had enough stuff that was kind of entertaining, but like I'm having like a genuine reaction to it where I'm like, this was kind of shitty.
Like sometimes the colors
Yeah.
were bad.
Were bad. Like a bad decision. I remember one scene where Bruce Willis walks in with his orange sleeveless shirt on, and I was like, I can't believe that shot just got put in a movie. Because he's pasty, and his arms are not
Well, and
very
so
big.
again, that I liked that this was literally like a clothing designer like having free reign.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you'll never get to see Bruce Willis look like that again. Because it was truly like almost like couture or something. And you were like, who would ever that clothing never exists. That clothing exists because a designer got to make the clothes for this movie, and so that was kind of cool to me for some reason.
Yeah. This is not the best sci-fi movie that Bruce Willis has been in.
Not the
It's
best
sci-fi
podcast.
movie.
It could be the best podcast.
This
is the best
This is the
podcast
best
we've ever done.
podcast. Well, it's all going to depend on how we end it, I think. Just like the Fifth Element.
How are you trying to end it? What are you saying?
We're gonna fuck in a metal tube.
George. I didn't need that, man.
Neither
I
did
not
I.
need that.
Nobody
No.
does. Nobody does, Kevin.
No.
But if we're
It's
willing
warm
to,
in here already.
willing to do it for the fans.
No, you were trying to do something there, man.
No.
You were like, no, I think I interrupted you,
I don't know what I was gonna
and
say.
then you got coital.
I did, yeah. I got all of a sudden. What were I was gonna. Oh well, not the best sci-fi movie that Bruce Willis has been in. Not the best sci-fi movie. 12 Monkeys was fucking great.
Cool. When's its 20th anniversary? You let me know when Facebook provides that information to you, and then we'll go
probably
pretend
coming up.
like it's a.
It's probably coming up pretty soon. We should watch 12 Monkeys again.
Speaking of monkeys,
Yeah.
there's some War of the Apes out there.
We
Cornelius.
got War of the Apes coming up.
Coming up.
Have you seen both the other ones?
Yeah, I'm there.
What do you think of those?
I like watching them.
Yeah.
They're intense.
They are
and
pretty
they're
good.
Smart.
I have trouble going like, should I treat this as a completely separate entity from the originals, or do I need to like line them all up in my? Because I actually love
Wow, that
the
must
original
be
Planet of the
really,
Apes.
really difficult for you, George.
You have no
and I
idea,
know
man.
that-
I'm not gonna sleep
mean,
tonight because of
if-
this.
Yeah. I never watched all those others.
You didn't watch all of them?
So
There's like
for me,
6
it's
of
like
them.
blank slate. And I'm not talking about bong hits and wine.
Man, I'll give them to you. We should.
I don't really know. Yeah.
We should watch.
I'd
them.
rather be reading.
There's Kevin for you. I'd rather be reading.
No sex in the tube tonight, you asshole.